am Corpsey Clown. Just so you know, this is an assignment for school, but I wanted to post it here because I believe this is a very interesting case. Tonight I will be talking about the serial killer cult leader, Adolfo Constanzo. As you can probably tell, I am using text-to-speech, so I apologize for any mispronouncing. All the sources I used will be linked in the description and comments. Please keep in mind that this happened in real life. It is not fantasy. Real human beings died in horrible ways because of this man. Please do not romanticize real killers. They killed real innocent people. They're not cool or sexy. They are horrible people. Adolfo was born on November 1st, 1962 in Miami, Florida. His mother was Delia Aurora Gonzalez del Valle, a widowed Cuban immigrant. She gave birth to Adolfo when she was 15 years old. She would eventually give birth to 3 children. Each had a different father. After her first husband died, she remarried and moved to San Juan, Puerto Rico. While living in San Juan, Adolfo was a baptized altar boy for a Roman Catholic church. Adolfo was also influenced by his mother, who participated in Palo Mayombe. Palo Mayombe is a Congo-like religion from the Bakongo diaspora. To summarize the religion, Palo faithful believe that a spirit of the dead also lives inside. The spirits of Palo communicate through ordained mediums like Rios. Earthly items like guns or knives help the Palero channel these spirits and summon protection from them. New Giardino. In 1972, Adolfo's family moved back to Miami. His stepfather died soon after and left some money to the family. By then, neighbors in Little Havana had begun noticing something odd about Aurora Constanzo and her son. Some said that she was a witch, and those who angered her were likely to discover headless goats or chickens on their doorsteps in the morning. His mother quickly remarried a man involved in the local drug trade and the occult. Adolfo and his mother were both charged and arrested many times for petty crimes like theft, vandalism, and shoplifting. He finished high school but dropped out of junior college. His mother believed he had psychic powers because he supposedly predicted the attempted assassination of Ronald Reagan in 1981. When he was a teenager, he befriended a Haitian Palo Mayombe priest who taught him the skills to be a drug dealer and con artist, so he could have a career in profiting from evil. His occult godfather taught him something Adolfo would take to his grave: let the non-believers kill themselves with drugs. We will profit from their foolishness. In 1983, he supported himself as a tarot card reader as he visited Mexico City. He recruited 2 yonder men to be his servants, Marta Quintana Rodriguez and Omar Churia Acho. He went back to Miami for a short time, then moved to Mexico City around 1984. In the next few years, he became a leader of a full-fledged cult with drug dealers, musicians, and even police under his command. In Matamoros, Tamaulipas, on the U.S. Mexico border, the cult sold drugs, held high price to cult ceremonies, and by around 1987, murdered human beings for use in sacrifices. These victims fell along with the cult's rivals in dealing drugs. Adolfo convinced his members that human sacrifices made them invincible. Mark Kilroy, a 21-year-old tourist, disappeared in Matamoros during spring break in 1989. The local police faced pressure from Texas authorities and began to search for him. Both Mexican and Texas authorities were unaware of the significance of the mutilations they observed, and their ignorance impeded their investigations. They discovered Adolfo's cult by accident in an unrelated drug investigation, and, after arresting some of the members, they quickly discovered that they were responsible for Kilroy's murder, whose body had been dismembered and burned. More and more of his cult members were caught and arrested until May 6th. Adolfo and 4 of his followers were cornered. 2 were his male lovers in a dilapidated Mexico City apartment. Adolfo Constanzo was determined not to go to prison, so he demanded one of his followers to shoot him and Quintana Rodriguez. They were both dead when the police finally broke in. Sarah Mara Aldrete, one of his most trusted leaders in the cult, was arrested soon after his death. She was sentenced to a total of 68 years in prison for her involvement in the cult and the murders. Adolfo Constanzo was nicknamed the Godfather of Matamoros, and his cult has 16 confirmed victims, but suspected over 26 victims. Most of his victims were killed by a machete chop to the back of the neck after being brutally tortured for a sacrifice. The victims were sacrificed to Adolfo's god to protect them and their drug ring. Was it nature or nurture? Nature is more about our genetics and other hereditary factors. Nurture is our environment and childhood. Sir Francis Galton, a cousin of Charles Darwin, popularized the term nature versus nurture in the late 1800s. He was thinking about how much a human being's behavior is determined by their inherited genes, and how much is determined by their experiences throughout their life. I believe it was mostly nurturing that created Adolfo Constanzo's behaviors. At an early age, Adolfo was exposed to animal sacrifices and drug rings. He lived his whole life believing we were the chosen one, being told he was from early childhood. He was told that if others didn't believe in what he believed in, they were less than an animal and were seen as expendable. Adolfo was raised to believe it was okay to kill and torture living creatures for power. His very early childhood made him the way he was. Thank you for watching. Have a nice existing.